Hi you guys, welcome back. So if you guys just watched it, if not, it's fine, but I just got done filming my introduction video, which went up before this one, and that's just a little bit about me. But now I want to dive right into plants, and so this video is going to be all about my plant collection. I'm going to do a plant tour / apartment tour so you guys can see my space, see my plants, see my collection. Again, prefacing this just like I did in the last video, but there is construction going on, so you're gonna hear random noises and stuff, and so I apologize for that, but nothing I can do about it. It's been going on for a while, and it's gonna be going on for much longer. I mean, my apartment, there's like 18 buildings, and they're doing all the siding, windows, doors, garage doors, like everything. So it's just loud all the time. It's great. By the way, I have tried to do this so many times. If you do follow me on Instagram, I tried to do just on my Instagram stories, like a little walkthrough showing people stuff, the collection, the apartment, and it just got to be so long and so much that Instagram just started deleting my stories. So I was like, oh shit, okay. So then, sorry, by the way, I swear. So then I was like, okay, no problem. I'll refilm it and I'll just have to post it as a video on Instagram. And I did that, and it's been a while since I posted a video on Instagram because I guess there's no more IGTV, if that kind of shows you like how much I'm really in tune with social media these days. And I was like, what the hell? So then I tried to upload, I guess, a video, and it's a reel, but it's not like the TikTok reels, and I don't know. And then it limits you on how long it can be, and I was like, oh my god, I was refilming it so many times, and that's why now I'm like, screw it. I'm making a YouTube channel. I can't make short videos with everything I need to say and show and do, and like, it got to the point where every room was taking an hour because I have that many plants and that much to say and so much, and I couldn't trim it down for Instagram, so here we are. But yeah, anyways, without further ado, let's get into the plants. All right, you guys, so I just want to start by giving you a view of the room itself before I dive in. Just so you guys know too, it is like a super cloudy, rainy day today, so it's gonna be really dark. So if I have my ring light or if I turn up my settings, you know, if it looks a little weird, that's why. It's gonna look a little dark just because it's not sunny. But normally, actually, all the windows and things in here are south facing windows, so it's normally so pretty, so bright. I really wish I could show you guys that. That'll have to be another video. All right, so let's start with my Mod Sprout grow frames. Mod Sprout, Modern Sprout, same thing. They have these built-in lights to these beautiful, slick-looking frames. And on these, I just kind of have all my string of things. So right here we have my Silver Glory string of hearts. They have, like, you know, that kind of like kidney bean shape. And then we've got my string of turtles. These things are popping off. And I don't know, for some people, if you struggle with these, you really just gotta give them light up top. All of these, because they have light up top, have been doing so well, and I really think that's like a big major key in them. But yeah, so definitely if you struggle a little bit, I would say give it some light up top. This pot doesn't even have drainage in it. I just kind of like give it a little water here and there. Then we have my normal string of hearts, and next to it a string of spades. You guys can kind of see the leaf shape there. And that one's like super bald at the top because it was neglected for like almost a month. Whoops. But yeah, they're all kind of doing really well, and I love them hanging down, trailing there. And then over here we have my variegated string of hearts, which I just got. I'm gonna turn that down. There you go. So I just got this variegated string of hearts. It is literally so cute and so pink. My focus is not amazing. I'm kind of learning, you guys, so bear with me. But yeah, and then we have my philodendron cream splash. Let's see. Philodendron cream splash. She's one strand, but I took a bunch of cuttings to propagate so I can fill it in. And then we have my variegated string of pearls. This thing was pretty small when I got it, and I honestly don't even remember where I got it, but it was so small when I got it, and now it's doing so well. Like, up next, I want to show you guys my giant Aglaonema. She had a little bit of overwatering for a little bit, but put out a beautiful new leaf. This is such a big plant that I've honestly wanted for so long, but when I was living at my parents' house, I just didn't have the space, and I really wanted it to be a statement plant when I got it. So it originally was in our living room, but you'll see why we ran out of space when I go through the rest of the apartment. But yeah, it's just so beautiful, so lush, and like, I seriously love it. Such an underrated plant. And then we have my Philodendron gloriosum here. This is my first gloriosum. She was so small and started out with like these little baby leaves. And now I think this is the newest leaf. So each one's getting better and better, and I finally got it in a long pot so that it could crawl, and I'm pretty sure it's actually rooting down there. So that's super exciting because that's what they want to do. And so this new leaf looks like it's going to be a big one. So I'm super excited about that. And it actually loves that spot. It's pretty far away from my window and my balcony door, but it actually loves that spot. All right, and then up next down here we have one of my Philodendron silver swords. This thing, if you guys can see, has literally so many different growth points in it. It's kind of crazy. And you know what? This actually there was like 2 or 3 more plants in this. Like, this thing was huge, but I decided to split it up and share the love. This was a grocery store or Target find, so it actually, I got super lucky. But yeah, it was only like 15 bucks and it was massive, so love that. And then we have I want to say philodendron, but I don't think it's a philodendron. It might be like a Tomatophyllum or whatever those are called, pretty sure. I don't know, but it's a goldie eye. This guy gets super loby with every new leaf, and he needs to spread out, which is why he's right here. But you guys can see, look how beautiful that is. I am so excited. If you haven't seen a mature one of these, you guys need to Google it. Like, seriously, they're so awesome. And it looks like we have a new leaf coming, so super excited about that. So up next, I'm gonna show you my mess because I wanna be transparent. I just have this little wicker shelf and it just kind of stores random stuff. It was more on the decorative side, but lately I'm actually not sure if I'm even going to keep it. And I have that wicker shelf, which is also such a mess. So we'll see, I don't know. So right now it's just holding some of my decor stuff, and you know, it's small, so like this little corner is a good spot for it, but I really would either like to utilize it in a better way or get rid of it. And then I have a fan just to help circulate air during the summer in here, but temps are dropping now, and I'll actually need to be using this. This is my Combs humidifier. I have 2 of these. These are amazing. Like, it's a top fill, has a remote, you can set the temperature, you can set the percentage of humidity so that it'll just turn on when it realizes it's going below what you want. So now that the colder months are going to be coming up and heat will be turned on, the air is definitely getting drier, so I'm going to need a humidifier, and I highly recommend. But you guys, you know, this one's a little bit more expensive, so I totally get it. Just get a humidifier of some sort if you feel like you really need it. So it's kind of hard to know where to start, but I thought I'd start with this cutie. This is my marble pothos. I know some people have mixed feelings about pothos, but this one has been such an OG, and honestly, just like thriving. It's so pretty. It always would give me half moon leaves, and honestly, they're so underrated. You're gonna see I actually have quite a bit of marble pothos. They're just such a great plant, you guys. I really appreciate a lush trailing plant. So yeah, and then over here we've got my philodendron glad hands. Looks like putting out a new leaf. This guy's super cute, but I don't know, I've actually been a little neglectful, but this is the oldest leaf, so just so you guys know, it's okay when old leaves yellow and die off. That's supposed to happen. This one's kind of a funky one, so that's why it's up on top of the detolf, because it likes to really spread out. So yeah, I think before I get into the cabinets, I'm gonna do all of these guys, just because I know that the cabinets are super bright, you know. So let's get into these. Okay, so up first we have a philodendron lime fiddle. So you can see it's kind of like a golden dragon where it's got that leaf shape. This is a good example. But it has a little bit of the speckled mottled green variegation. I will say I'm not sure on the history on how stable this variegation is, because it's really like hit or miss. Like you can see here, there's really nothing. Yeah, so there's not really a whole lot, but it's still just a nice philodendron, and it's small and it's in this cute pot. It's currently putting out a new leaf. And then in the back here we just have a pretty typical Sansevieria, a snake plant. Right here we've got another marble pothos. This was actually a propagation from my hanging one that you guys will see later on. This is the Snow Queen pothos, so it's mainly white with a little bit of green. Oh my gosh. Sometimes these plants get caught in my cabinet doors, but you guys can see it's like mainly white. And that's what mama likes. So yeah, sorry, I'm also kind of a weirdo. You guys are gonna notice that. But yeah, so it it could, I guess, kind of give you Jasenia vibes, but no, it's mainly white with some green speckle variegation. I can't believe this thing started as a cutting. Like, it's so pretty. Again, underrated. Then up here we have one of my absolute favorites. This is an Amidrium Spider-Man. I don't remember like the technical term, but basically, I don't know if you guys are aware, they start off with leaves like this that are, you know, non-fenestrated, and then as Amidriums climb, get older and mature, they get fenestrations. And if you have not looked up a mature Amidrium, do it. Especially this one. It's terrible lighting in here, but it has this beautiful texture of, you know, I don't know, it kind of gives me the same vibe as a Monstera Peru. It's got like that kind of like alligator texture, but that's why they call it Spider-Man, is because of the pattern on it. But I'm super excited because this one is getting to the point where it's outgrowing my pole, and then after I gave it a cut, it put out a new growth point. So, and it looks like even though it's small, oh, we got fenestrations. That's super exciting. Yeah, you can see it needs a chop. This, see this? That comes from there and it goes all the way down there, all the way to the cabinet. So I need to cut it. That's why I've been staking it up so it wouldn't put out runners, but Amidriums are known to do that. So buyer beware. You gotta chop those runners and you gotta get it staked up so it wants to climb and fenestrate. Let me brighten it up a little bit. But yeah, so that's my Amidrium Spider-Man. Up next, we have what I believe is a Syngonium. Is it Macrophyllum? It's a very narrow looking leaf, and then it's got this matte film sheen to it. It's almost like the Chiapensi, but the Chiapensi is more rounded, heart-shaped leaves that are bigger. But yeah, this one you guys can see is growing all the way up there. Like, this is actually one of my favorites, to be honest. Just so pretty. And it looks like we got a new leaf coming. But does not want to miss a watering, which I notice a lot of my Syngoniums are that way. It will easily yellow leaves at the bottom and start dropping leaves if you go through any sort of drought period, so just be mindful of that. Up next, we have my Florida Ghost Mint. I do know that it wasn't, I don't think it's an accepted cultivar, the mint version of a Florida Ghost, but this one did keep its minty coloring for a while. It doesn't like revert back to a dark green, as you can see. But right now, lately, it's been kind of dark, so it really isn't getting much light, and it isn't as minty as it probably could be, but she's doing good. And then right next to it, you guys see, it's basically the same, but this is just the Florida green, the red stem, but that stem's not so red. You can see right there, there's a little bit of that red stem. But this thing is loving life. It's in this big white pot here, and it's just climbing up. It actually outgrew its pole right there, but I gave it a good chop and it put out a new growth point right there. So yeah, got a new leaf there. You can kind of see the red stem. Yeah, that is my philodendron Florida green or Florida red stem. Kind of hidden here is my Scindapsus or Syndapsus. I know I hear it many different ways pronounced. I always say Scindapsus, probably not right. Put it down here. This is my Trubii Moonlight. It is such a full lush plant. This is one of the Costa Farms ones that came out, and I got so lucky. Like, let's see if you can see roots. Look at all those roots. Oh yeah. This one like loves me, I don't know. The main thing is it's not that humid in this room, in my plant room, which, I mean, when I turn on my humidifier it will be, but this one I always just kind of keep a little water in its saucer so it does not dry out ever, and I think that's a good way to help keep this one happy if I'm not really giving it like, you know, 70 or 80% humidity. But yeah, super underrated plant, I think still. Like, it was hyped, you know, and then it just died out, but so pretty, you guys. Seriously, don't forget about this one. Behind the Moonlight is my, what's supposed to be philodendron golden dragon. You can see it's not so golden. It has that leaf shape, and it was variegated at the beginning, like modeled variegation, and it definitely is not anymore. And actually this one had such weird lighting conditions when I first got it, so it has grown to be so funky, and it outgrew its pole many times. And so recently I gave it the chop and it put out a new growth point. I personally, like, I don't love this one. It's not that the variegation went away, but it just became so blah to me. And maybe it's because it's been growing so weird for me and funky that it's just not really doing it for me. But like you can see, I have so many plants that are this like leaf shape. So I don't know, this one just is kind of boring to me. However, the variegated version, oh my god, seriously, I could drool over it. Up next we have my philodendron gigas or gigas. This one is so pretty. The dark velvety black leaves, you guys, oh my god. Seriously, this is one of my favorites. I don't know why it will grow funny. They go like zigzaggy, if you can tell. It grows zigzaggy. This one just decided to point towards the wall, which, you know what, sometimes I feel that way too. Anyways, super easy plant. It outgrew this pole, and then I just stuck a bamboo stick in it, and you can see it's already like at the way top, ready to be extended or chopped. I've given it the chop already, but yeah, seriously, I love that plant. Oh man, gosh, sometimes I'm like, where do I even go from here? If you guys can't tell, these are all just so like crammed in next to each other. It does look kind of chaotic, but at the same time, they kind of love it. Like, they create their own humidity and like own ecosystem, so I really don't mind it. But when I'm trying to go plant by plant, it can get a little messy and a little confusing. So let's go to the back here. Do you see this bad boy? That's a Monstera stanleyana aurea, actually. It's got beautiful variegation. And honestly, as it was climbing and getting older, it just got more and more like half moons, and it looks like, gosh, this is so in the way. Oh yeah, it definitely needs a little bit of a chop and maybe a rewrap. Like, I've wrapped this thing around there so many times. It is just, it's wild, but it's so pretty. I love that thing. Also another one that's kind of easygoing. Someday I'll see a better view of that one, but I don't really want to pull it out right now. Then we've got my Syngonium Mojito. This one has gotten so tall, so I really have to reach. I'm only 5'2", but yeah, oh my God. Look at that leaf. This thing is touching my ceiling. Oh my gosh. And it's about to put out another leaf. That's so crazy. Look at that. It's this pot right here. But yeah, I seriously love it. And honestly, this plant used to be right here, and it's actually growing way more ever since I moved it over here away from the window. So I'd say it's a pretty good, like, bright and direct plant. And then last but not least, on top of these cabinets, I have my philodendron biliaceae, however you want to say it. I hear people call it many different things. It's got the funky petioles because if you guys, I don't know if you know, but this plant for sure is sensitive to wherever the light's coming from. So keep that in mind. Some people literally stake every single petiole, and I think that's just doing the most. But anyways, we got a new leaf coming out, and yeah, it's love and life. That's another one. If you guys can't tell, I put all my funky, like, wide reaching and spreading plants, my philodendrons, on top of cabinets and things because, you know, you gotta find space for such a funky plant, you know. But yeah, so now, okay. All right, let's get into the cabinets now. Also, like, I'm so sorry, like, this is gonna take a long time, so just bear with me. You know, I'm probably not gonna go through plant by plant every single time after this. So I just wanna give you guys like an overview of the whole collection. So this will be a long video. And if you make it through the whole thing, then props to you. But trust me, we got this room, and then I have my whole other apartment to show you. So stick with me, I promise it'll be good. Okay, so first up, we're gonna do the far left detolf cabinet. So my boyfriend weather stripped it. I don't actually like this clear weather stripping. I don't recommend it. We've tried different types of weather stripping with all the other cabinets that we actually are probably gonna just redo some of the weather stripping on the detolfs. And then we have just like one big panel light, which by the way is super strong. So you gotta, I only can really put Hoyas on top because all my other stuff kind of burns. So yeah, but here we are. So let's see, if we're up here, I'm just gonna darken it. Up here first, we have my Hoya, is it Walliniana? I know I have a tag in here. Ah, come on. Oh yeah, the Walliniana. So this one is seriously one of my absolute favorite Hoyas because look at the sunstress, look how purple it is. It is just absolutely beautiful, like so beautiful. Gosh, like look at that, it's literally so purple. Anyways, so that's why I have that one on the top, because I want it to be more purple. You can see I have a pretty pathetic trellis, and I just got more trellises in the mail, so I'm actually gonna do that this weekend. I'm gonna trellis a bunch of my Hoyas and get rid of that little sad one because it's really not doing anything. And then we have a Hoya australis delisa. Like, look at how beautiful, and it's going just straight up like a bush. Actually kind of like a mini tree, because again, it's just super strong lighting, so it's just going right for it. And then again, look how much that's trailing. Like, I need to get it together. And then we have in here, brighten this up again, it's literally just that top shelf that's so bright, my Hoya Sunrise. This actually was way more sun stressed, more sunrisey, as you might say, but that's because it was up here with this one, and ever since I moved it down here, it kind of went back to green, which is okay. But this is another one that I think I might trellis. And then we have my Quilted Dreams, or my Alocasia sinuata. This one loves it in here. I love the texture. It has definitely flowered a few times, and it's been putting out like pups like crazy. If you can see, if I can get stuff kind of out of the way, but yeah, so there's a ton of new leaves, which is super exciting. And then down here we have another Alocasia. We have a black velvet. This is one of my favorites, and I'm so proud of it because it's beautiful leaves, and then it has, look at all the pups. Literally look at all the pups. Like, I'm so excited. It's gonna be such a bushy full plant. It's just one of my pride and joys. And then we have an philodendron, Mame Rojo. So it's got more of a red tone to the petioles, and it actually, I had this one living in LECA, and then I was neglecting nutrients, so you can see there is like, you know, deformities, and it was struggling for a bit, but I bought some CalMag, some calcium magnesium, to really help with that, and I transferred it to soil, so it's still kind of adapting, but nice bushy plant, and it's honestly outgrowing this cabinet, so I really need to just take it out and give it a little TLC. But yeah, and then we have, you know, just a huge mess. All my Hoyas have been flowering lately, like all summer, so all the flowers are kind of everywhere, but it is what it is. I didn't feel like cleaning because I want to show you, this is personally really what it looks like all the time. So yeah, this is my Detolf. Up next we have one of my Rudsta Wides. Before I start, just so you guys know, I have two Rudsta Wides that are on the same circuit and the same timer. So my boyfriend wired them together so that I didn't have to have separate ones for each one. So yeah, and then here we have some better weather stripping. So like, where is it? Like right here. Oh my god, it's so bright. But we have like the foam, and then we have the same as the clear, but it's actually the black version of the other weather stripping, and surprisingly it's way better than the clear. Like, I don't know why, I really don't, but yeah, I can't get it to focus, my bad. But anyway, so the black version, way better. I'm sure the white version's better too. And then we did some foam stripping instead on this one just to test it out. But yeah, let's get started. First up, I'm gonna show you my Pink Splash, I think. I don't know why I'm totally blanking, but it's Pink Splash Syngonium. This one is so pretty. It's just got such beautiful variegation. It's got the green, the pink, and then it kind of gets more like faded, muted as they get older. But this one was such a little baby when I first got it, so super proud now. It's a whole bush. So cute. And then right next to it we have my very first Alocasia Silver Dragon, which another one I'm super proud of because it also put out, if you can see, little pup right there. And it's just, ever since, this one actually lived in my Detolf over there, but ever since I moved it in here with a little bit less light and different humidity conditions, it's just been thriving. So it's able to actually have space to like bush out now, so that's super exciting. And then kind of hidden behind it is another Monstera Stanleyana. This is a Stanleyana elbow, and if you guys see, it's climbing all the way up my cabinet, and you know, I'm really not sure what I'm gonna do with this one. This one really needs either a chop, or honestly I should give it a pull. I really should. And right next to it we have a Philodendron Sportadium. Gosh, just so you guys know, I am not great with Latin names, so I'm just gonna say them how I think they are in my head and go ahead and correct me. But yeah, really pretty plant. Has really nice two-tone leaves, velvety, and it's such a fast, easy grower. Just so you guys know, both that one and the Stanleyana, I have chopped numerous times. Look at the roots, it's literally begging to be. And I kind of have them naturally crawl
or not crawl, climb up with these magnetic hooks, since this is a magnetic backing of the Redsta. And I'm not kidding, I had other plants up here. They grew up and rooted into those pots and tried to take over. So they're pretty crazy. They're fast growers though. And then up here we have my Hoya Chelsea. I am so obsessed with this plant, you guys. Like, it always had these little leaves, but as it grew, it's been getting bigger and bigger leaves. Like, look at that. Super happy, super pretty. And right next to it we have my Hoya Macrophylla Pot of Gold. You guys can't really tell because of the lighting. There we go. It's so gold and yellow in the middle with beautiful dark green edges. This is a brand new leaf, I can feel it. Oh, this one too, it's just more of like a green color, but this one actually tried to go over here into this pot too, which was super funny. But those are two of my trellis Hoyas. This one is a very slow grower though, just keep that in mind, but it's really pretty. It's got the yellow on the inside, and ooh, let's see, we got a new leaf right there. You guys can't tell. I need to work on my focus. There we go. But new leaf there. And then we have another Syndapsis. Is it Aragus? I really don't remember, but this one is a cutting. I had an actual plant of it, but it was dying, so I just kind of started over in a little pot. And then actually hidden behind it, my Philodendron Brandy. She's doing great. She's really small though. Honestly, I should probably put her on a pole if I want it to actually mature and get bigger, but she's there. She's fine. And then in front of it, we have this monstrous Anthurium radicans crossed luxurians. Luxurians. And it's just non-stop growing. Like, look how big this leaf is. This is insane. I really want just a normal luxurians someday, but I just, for some reason, haven't really prioritized it. But look how big that is. I don't even know how I have this thing in my cabinet, to be honest. But yeah, it's pretty. It's pretty wild. Just taking a little break to show you. It is literally pouring. It's pouring out, and people are working on garage doors right here. Oh my gosh, what a mess. But that's why it is so dark in these videos, is just because this is the vibe. All right, on to the next Redsta Wide. Gotta kind of like move plants out of the way. On top, this one has the clear weather stripping. We need to redo that, and you know what, maybe when we redo it I'll film a video. But it's crazy, like the clear stuff does not stick, but the black does. So I don't know, I bet the white's good. You can see this is always kind of fallen. I really just haven't cared enough to fix it. But all right, where should we start? I'm gonna do what I did in the other video and start down here. So first we have my Philodendron Pink Princess. This is the newest leaf. This I got as a little cutting. You can see I paid $30 for it. I got it like 2 or 3 years ago when it was like super popular and everyone was paying so much for just like a little plant. And I was so happy that a local girl was so nice to just, you know, for 30 bucks give me a cutting. And hers had the most amazing genetics. Like, look at the half moon there. Like, so many half moons, so much peachy pink variegation. I've really never had problems with it. It's just now starting to size up the leaves. So I think what I should do is, well, give it an actual pull instead of a chopstick. And yeah, let that girly grow. And then behind it, we have one of my faves. It is my Monstera dubia. This one was from Jack's Jungle in Florida. I'm sure you guys have heard of her. This is, I think, this is the newest leaf. So this one starts down there and it grew up here, and then it literally just climbed all the way up over here, and it had like the most smallest deformed leaves. Really needed a chop, so I chopped it, and you can see it actually over here put out a new growth point and climbed, and now the leaves are getting big. Like each one is starting to size up. I'm so excited. So now I think I'm actually gonna extend the pole somehow because I want it to keep sizing up the leaves. Another perfect example. I honestly didn't go through and like clean or like touch up any of my cabinets because this is just how it is. This is real life, you know? So I want to be transparent with everyone, you know? They're not perfect and I don't intend them to be. All right, up here. Oh my gosh, I have to pick this one up if I can. So we have, there we go. That was really hard. We have my Hoya Polynera. This one started as literally just 2 leaves. Now look at her. She's so cute. So cute. And she's actually so tippy. I think I probably need to repot her. Probably. And then right here we have a cutting of my Syngonium macrophyllum. That was a propagation. It is in the smallest pot, probably outgrowing it like crazy. And then we have my Hoya Croniana. I think this is just a regular splashy one. It's not the super silver, which I have. It's just regular splash. And honestly, it's so pretty. I hope it focuses. That's good enough. And then next to it, we have the, oh man, is it a Kentiana? Or a Wayettii? It's one of the two. I get them so mixed up, but it's a variegated version. Just loving life. You guys see that leaf up there? That is from, let's see, what is that from? Oh, my Milano. So this is my Philodendron Milano Chrysum. Like I said, everything kind of climbs with like these hooks. It's down there, you can see. Gave it a good old chop right there, and so it just started growing again and climbing. And right next to it, we have my Philodendron Splendid. Literally one of my favorites. It's just now putting out a new growth point. And this one was growing all the way up and literally across the top here. So that one I have propagating. I'm so excited. And they all start like down here, if you can see. And then I guess we'll do this beautiful beauty right here. This is another Amidrium. So as you guys can see, it's fenestrated. This is the Amidrium Silver. Literally one of my absolute favorites. It's just full on like silver blue. And like I said, they're prone to putting out runners. So you gotta make sure you stake them up. This one has multiple growth points. All right, so now let's go here. We have my Hoya Carrii, variegated whatever. It's the outer variegation. I don't remember if there's actual like a term for it versus the inner variegation, but yeah, just a variegated Hoya Carrii. This one and all the other thicker stem Hoyas, you guys gotta make sure you trellis it like early on because those things do not want to bend. So this one's kind of going funky and you can see these really silly roots here, but yeah, it's my variegated Hoya Carrii. And then we have my Philodendron Nangertensi. This one has been a funky one. It honestly, it had thrips when I got it, but definitely got it treated. It was going through a lot, but it's doing good now. And actually, I chopped it and it's got a new growth point coming out, if you can see that, way down there. But yeah, I don't even know how I honestly have that one fitting in here because you can see everything's just kind of crammed and chaotic. Next to it, we have my one of many Burl Marks Fantasies. This is from Planty Queens, this one. It was my first one and it's so pretty. Oh, I can't, I'm trying to grab that, but that's the newest leaf. Again, I had it on a hook here to kind of help not only, come on, support it, but you know, mature as it wants to climb. And that one goes all the way down there. So super pretty. And then I think last but not least, I have my Hoya Calistophylla here. This one is one of my first Hoyas. I love this one, another one from Planty Queens. And it has been just non-stop flowering for like 6 months. You could see where some of these peduncles were. And so yeah, it wasn't really putting out a ton of new leaves, except, oh, look how big this one is. But then once it finally stopped, I think now I'm gonna put it on a trellis. Well, it's in a really small pot, so I should probably repot it, give it a trellis and let it go crazy. But I love this one just because of the pattern and texture on the leaves. I seriously love it. If you guys don't have a Calliciphylla and you want a good Hoya, that one is gonna just be happy no matter what. So I highly recommend. All right, so those were the Redsta wides. As you guys can see, I just kind of let them grow. They really kind of overtake the cabinets, and I like that because it gives me more of a jungle vibe. So yeah, they're pretty like wild and crazy, and honestly everything is so close to each other, and that's fine. So that's kind of my vibe. And now let's do the second detail. Can you guys tell I haven't given this cabinet much attention lately? I mean, this plant is literally growing outside of the cabinet. Okay, so let's see. Up here we have my Hoya Wilbur Graves. I can't wait to give this one, you know, this one I think is getting too much light, that it's burning versus getting the sun stress kind of variegation that I would like. Like you can see, it's kind of like, I don't know what it's called, but it's getting more of a actual burn and not sun stress. So I need to change this one's conditions, and I'll probably move it. And then we have my nice dead carnivorous plants. My boyfriend and I, in the winter, we decided to do a fun little DIY bog project, and these were so great. But again, I actually went through a period of time where I didn't really water any plants for a month, and carnivorous plants don't want to dry out. So I learned that, and I think we will definitely do it again. But for right now, I've just kind of left it in there. You know, sometimes I kind of leave it. I don't have time to deal with problems. Okay, up next we have an Alocasia Aslania. You guys can see the blue, purple, beautiful leaves. This one has also just freaking loved me. Like, loves the cabinet. It had nonstop put out leaves, nonstop flowering, and actually, you guys, there's 2 leaves there coming out. So I don't know what's going on, if it's gonna start splitting into like what, or if it's just gonna do 2 leaves at once, but that's pretty sick, pretty cool. And we have a corm in the soil there. And then here we have my first Alocasia Dragon Scale. This one is in leca, as you can see, but I've really neglected giving nutrients to my leca plants, and I honestly haven't even changed this one over yet. So it's basically living in water, but it's not hating it, and we have some new growth right there. So we're gonna leave it for now. And then we have my Dischidia watermelon Dischidia, whatever. This thing is popping off. Like, really, it was not nearly this full when I got it, but loves the light and the humidity. And then I think too, like, it gets more of pink veining, if you can see, as it gets sun stressed. So I should probably, maybe I might move this one up there. I might swap those. But it's been wrapping itself around my cabinet here, and honestly at one point it even like corkscrewed all the way up, and then now it just decided to go outside of the cabinet. So I think that's super funny. I need to get on that. Underneath here we have the Alocasia cuprea, starting to definitely outgrow this cabinet space, which is totally fine. This one, honestly, as the leaves get older and stuff, mine has gotten dull. That might be a lighting problem or a drought problem, but it's just, I really don't know what to think. This plant hasn't really done it for me lately, which is part of the neglect. But then when I get a new leaf like this, I just love it. So I really don't know. I don't know. Sometimes I fall in and out of love with some plants. And then down here we have my Anthurium crystallinum. Yeah, you can see it's got the newest leaf right here. Definitely wanting to have a bigger space. And the reason I cut those leaves, you actually can see it on this leaf, they, I believe, have a fungal problem. It's not over watering, it's not, you know, pest or thrips or anything like that. I believe it's just strictly a fungal problem, which doesn't go away unless you treat it for fungal problems. And you can tell because of the yellow haloing effect that's just like slowly working itself up the leaf. So originally I cut off a lot of the spots that had fungus. And I say fungus, but like it might be bacterial too, like fungal bacteria, I don't know, but you guys know what I mean. It's not a bug problem, it's strictly that. So I do have Fizon, whatever it's called. I should definitely spray it down, but yeah, the newest leaf doesn't have it. And so that's kind of what also gives me the vibe that it's, you know, just infected in that kind of a sense. And I'm gonna have to take care of that. And then again, you guys can see dirty cabinet. Haven't cleaned it, but yeah, that would be my detolf. Same lights, by the way, same setup as the other one. Now we're gonna go over here in this corner. This is the bag corner. I love this philodendron bipenifolium. It is so lush, healthy, and strong, and it was growing up this pole, and it's numerous times outgrown the pole. So ever since I gave it the chop, that's the newest growth point. The reason I say this is the bag corner is because this philodendron Bob C has just total spider mite infestation, and it is, you can see it is bending back there, and it's coming all the way over here, and it's just so funky. I actually had it attached to my wicker shelf, and I'll explain why it's not anymore in a little bit, but because of that, and because it's been growing so funny and it's super widespread, it's touching this one. And so I now believe that my beautiful poor philodendron bipenifolium has spider mites as well. And so I need to treat it, but you guys can see these are big plants and there's a lot going on. And right now in life, it's been so busy, I just haven't had the time to treat a problem like that, that I know I'm gonna have to like thoroughly clean and treat multiple times. So that might be like next weekend kind of a project. But yeah, so this is my bag corner because these guys are both infected. I'm sure they're probably spreading to other plants too. I need to wipe down all my plants, but yeah. And the reason it's not adhered oh my god, I can't talk, not adhered to the shelf anymore is because we actually got new windows and balcony doors, which meant new trim. And you can also see our balcony's a mess because we're getting new siding. And so we had to literally clear everything. When I say that we had to clear everything, like I'm not kidding, everything. We had to move all the stuff that was near the doors and windows all the way to the back here. And we had to do that throughout our whole apartment. So our whole apartment was such a huge mess. And even though we did that, we didn't cover anything. So as they were taking out the new windows and putting in the new trim and painting, like so much dust was in the air that like we have this whole coating of, like, you can see, come on, focus, see, dust. And that's like dust, but that's also from them doing like sheetrock and wood and all that stuff. So that's part of my to-do list, is I need to actually really clean everything in here. But with that kind of hid the spider mite problem. So that is just those two plants as of right now. But yeah, so no fun. And that's why some things we just put everything back like a week ago. So yeah. All right, up next, I'm showing you guys this big wicker shelf. This, honestly, my boyfriend is so good at organizing this. Like, Dino just has an eye to make this look better with all of my crap on it than I do. But we just have pots on the bottom. This is mainly storage. And we have some glass and more glass and things. Up top is kind of where I have like chemicals, fertilizer, sprays, all that, just to keep it as high up from our cat Rory as possible. And then I do have a philodendron Rio right here, which is just beautiful. I love the leaf shape. Look how narrow and long that is. That's so cool. It literally loves it right here. So I'm at least glad I have one plant on here to give a pop of greenery. But it's just kind of like a utility shelf, and honestly, when we get a bigger space and I can put this somewhere else to make it more decor and books and things like that, I will. But for our small apartment and with everything I have, this is strictly just a functional piece now. Okay, let's get into these guys. So first up, I'm gonna show you guys my Alocasia fried deck. This one I had to treat for spider mites quite a bit, but I think she's pretty good. But honestly, Alocasias always get spider mites. But there's a few plants in this pot, and I think this is one of the newest leaves. Oh, so pretty. And then we have a Syndapsis Silver Glory, I think? No. Pink Variegation. Again, I think I mentioned it earlier, but this is a south facing window, so Hoya heaven, if you know what I mean. And then back here we have a Hoya Incrustada Elbow, I believe. Elbow Marginata or whatever. I don't remember, but you guys can see it's actually like sun bleached. It's sun stressed, but not to the point where I thought it would. Like, I wanted it to bring out this variegation, and instead it just kind of faded and bleached the leaves. So that one is going to be moving. Haven't quite decided where though. Then next to it we just have a little baby Birkin, Philodendron Birkin. I love small pots like that, you guys. Like, I don't know, they just fit for instances like this. And then right here we have one of my absolute favorites. This is the variegated heartleaf philodendron, the heteroecium. I am gonna bump up my brightness here. Look at this. Like, I have two of these plants. I got this pot, a full 6-inch pot, for $99, and I got it when people couldn't even find 2-leaf cuttings for that cheap. Like, 2 leaves was like 150 bucks at the time, so I literally could not pass it up. Ah, stuff is so tangled, but look at it now. Like, this thing is just going crazy. And this one actually took me a while to really appreciate. I just kind of figured it looked like, you know, all of my marble pothos, but it's not. It's different. Like, I was so wrong. So yeah, I have 2 of these. You'll see the other one in another room, but super easy grower. Then right here we have my Hoya Publicalyx Hawaiian Purple. You can see the contrast. This is like a new leaf. It's really purpley. The leaves should, or the flower should also be really purpley whenever that happens. Hidden, we have a Sansevieria. And then kind of hidden again too, we have a Hoya Compacta Variegata. This one, oh Lord, I had a giant hanging pot of this, but it was infested with mealybugs, and I found out everyone else who got the same exact plant from the same grower, same place, had mealybugs in theirs too. So I think it was a grower problem, which was super sad, and I could not save it. Like, I tried to treat it, but didn't work. So I actually got some smaller plants and potted them into this one pot, and I hope someday I'll get my hands on another big pot of this one. It's just one of my favorites. And then right here we have another pothos. This is a Mandula. I don't remember the Latin name for the pothos plants. It might be Epipremnum, but this one is so pretty, so white. This one actually used to live in there, but ever since I moved it here, it's been giving me way bigger and whiter leaves. Like, it's just so beautiful. So I'm super excited, and I think I'm gonna actually put that one on a pole so that the leaves can mature. And then back here we have another Hoya Publicalyx. This one is the pink silver splash. So when it gets like crazy sun stress, it's actually pink splash, not silver. So that was also another OG. And then in this Hilton Carter terrarium from Target, I have a philodendron, God, what is it? White Princess. So it's got like the pink stem, pink tones on the stem, not like a total pink stem, and then white variegation. I seriously love it. Get some better lighting there. And then above it, I have, gosh, what's this called? I think it's like a temple. It's a succulent. You guys know, it's like a crassula something, but it's a little temple. And it's in the cutest, like 1-inch pot. So she's living her best life there. You guys can see my Hoyas are just like reaching for the stars. Little Tarjay wall decor. Okay, and then up next we have my Philodendron 69686. This one I think got cold damage when I moved here because I moved to this apartment in winter. And so down here you've got some sad looking permanently damaged leaves. But now, which I need to give it better support and maybe a newer pole, each new leaf has been healthy, happy, and doing super well. So gotta give it a support. This thing is going crazy. Honestly, I kind of want to chop it. I think it's just kind of like there's so much space between the nodes, you know, so kind of want to chop it, clean it up. And then in here we have an Aglaonema. Look how full and beautiful this one is. This is another underrated common houseplant. My boyfriend got this one for me one day because he knew I really wanted it and regretted not buying it when we saw it. And it was just so cute. And then down here we have my peace lily. It's a Spathiphyllum, I believe platinum or platinum silver. It's got this like silvery like sheen to it. So pretty. And it gave me its first flowers recently, so like super exciting. This one's from Tonkadale. It's a Minnetonka greenhouse. Then we have an Anthurium fingers, I think. I really don't remember the actual Latin name for that one, but that one's super cool and loby as they get older too. Then we have a Philodendron, is it Ploumanii? Just treated this one for spider mites too. This one is also a crawler, so I got it a nice long pot to crawl in, and it already like loves it. Look at how pillowy these leaves are. And we got a new leaf unfurling there, so these plants love being right next to the balcony door. Like, I'm actually so lucky to have a balcony door. And then we have this beautiful Philodendron. Oh, it's so bright. There we go. Philodendron Ring of Fire. This one is growing like crazy, and ever since I moved it again towards the window, because it was kind of pulled back from the window, it's giving me more yellow variegation, which is super nice. And we have a new leaf on the way. And then in the back here we have this stunning Epiprenum aurea, and this is like, you know, it's another one that as it climbs it fenestrates. Oh my god, look how big this leaf is. Like, there are so many plants in this pot. This one's from Down to Earth Garden Center in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Like, oh my gosh, there's like 3 or 4 plants, and it's been climbing. It came with a moss pole, which is awesome, and it looks like, I didn't even realize it outgrew the pole, and now it's reaching over here. It's so stunning. I need to chop it and wrap it and extend the pole for sure. All right, so now we're gonna go into the Millsbow Wide number 1. This one also has these like really cute handles. You guys will see my Millsbow Tall. My boyfriend Dino, he bought these for them, so I love them. But yeah, so this cabinet, honestly, this was kind of a quarantine cabinet for me for the longest time, because like, I'm someone that, you know, when I have a pest or something like that, I get kind of overwhelmed, and I don't always address it right away because of other stress and other things in my life. And so I'll just put them in this cabinet and it's at least somewhat quarantined. But then I cleaned everything out. Sorry, I wanted to sit down. Cleaned everything out, and this is now my prop cabinet. So what's really nice is that this south window is gonna give it natural lighting, so these get like just bright light. They even get direct light at certain times of the day. And then on days like today where you can see it's so dark and rainy and gloomy, I have grow lights, and it normally stays around 80 to 90% humidity. That fluctuates in the morning and evening, obviously. But yeah, so I have these trays because when you have all these like little cups, it's so helpful to keep them corralled and then they don't tip over. And you know, if I didn't, then I'd be trying to balance cups on these. So it is nice to have trays to just kind of help. And if you can see, there's a little bit of water in them. That's because to help from overwatering the moss, I pour it into these trays and then I let things soak it up as they need it. And they have little like slits and ridges, so like I think it really helps, you know, when they're done soaking it all up. I think it helps keep the water away from the cups. I don't know if that makes sense. But yeah, so just gonna show you, I have some Cebu props, a philodendron silver sword prop, we have micans, I have that philodendron angaratense, we've got this is part of that Florida green, and I think this is the golden dragon, a couple golden dragon, or it's either that or the bipenifolium, Burrow Marks Fantasy, some Syndapsis, yeah, so just like a whole variety of things. And then over here we have like 3 or 4 Hoya Pollinera props, obviously the Campo Sportum, Philodendron, we got a couple of those, couple Cream Splash and Rio, more Burrow Marks Fantasy props. I'm super excited. These ones were just node cuttings, like stems, and if you can tell, they're already putting out little new growth points right there and there. So cute. This one looks like it dried out a little bit, so I'm gonna have to give that one some water, but I see a growth point. Everything kind of is getting some growth points, if you can tell. This one's like right there, but yeah, super excited. This one is a deformed brandy, philodendron brandy. That one is not doing too hot. Oh my gosh, you guys, I didn't even notice. Look at the baby leaf. This is the Rio. Oh my god, that is so adorable. That's the first new leaf for this Rio cutting, so that makes me so happy. So happy. I think this also, yeah. Oh, I just love seeing when this stuff works out, because you know, it's always hit or miss. Like I do know that there's a couple in here that are probably gonna not make it, but yeah, like you love to see it. So yeah, I don't know. I usually would do water propagating, and I've always had success with that, but I'm trying to make more of an effort now for moss propagating. I want to do it all. I want to do it all. But yeah, also I highly recommend risers, because these things do not fit side by side together, but if you can like elevate one or the other, or honestly I could just put like the glass shelves back in and put, you know, put grow lights on each one. But I don't know, I like to keep this cabinet more of like a flex cabinet. So right now I have props, and then when these aren't, you know, here anymore, I could use this for plants or whatever. So yeah, kind of a flex cabinet. But that is my first Millsbow wide. All right, for one that I know a lot of people have been waiting for, it's my Monstera Thai Constellation. This is how huge these leaves are. And this one I got this big, okay? It came this big. It's in a 14-inch pot. Oh, gosh, like it's so hard to even like show you. Look how beautiful it is. So amazing. Like I saw this, it was in a 14-inch pot, and it was, I think 5 or 6 leaves, and I paid $1,000 for it. Like, I'm sorry, but like for the normal cost of that plant, that is a steal. This thing has double, oh my bad, triple fenestrations, and the exact like sectoral variegation that I would like. So it was worth it. This is my most expensive plant, and honestly it was worth every single penny. You won't really see me spending that on literally anything else. Let me turn this down. And so yeah, like, it's just absolutely stunning. So amazing. Every leaf, I have to show you every leaf. There is browning on it because when I first got it, I had to really learn like that it didn't want to dry out. So yeah, but once I figured it out, gave it more light, more water, it's been doing great. So yeah, that is my beauty. All right, last but not least, we have a couple hanging plants here. Another Syndapsis exotica, a spider plant, and down here, I have to go quick because my camera would like to die. We have my Syngonium elbow, another absolute favorite of mine. It's totally outgrown the pole. So I've chopped this one like 5 times. It just literally loves it. And then we have a Philodendron Jose Buono. Again, I also chopped this one and I have 2 of them propagating. And then we have a Philodendron Painted Lady. This one needs a pole. There's 2 stems. It's just going crazy in this pink pot. Such big, beautiful leaves. Then we have what you probably wouldn't even recognize as a Philodendron Paraiso Verde. This one was in lower light for a while. And I think I need to give this one better conditions for sure. And then we have this, what would have been a variegated burl marks, but it is not because it reverted like many of those do. But there's so much in the pot, and I actually found the only variegated piece of this and propagated it, and I kind of saved it. So now I actually have like a tiny variegated version of this plant because this one reverted and I got lucky and did that in time. But yeah, that's kind of like this little corner here. So yeah, so that was the plant room. Like, that was a lot. But now you know why I could not do this on Instagram. But anyway, so now we gotta go through the rest of the apartment. If you can, keep on watching. I'm gonna show you everywhere else. If it's not in the plant room, I'll show you what we're doing. Also, I have to show you, look at my little nugget. She is just so cute. Okay, so from the plant room over there, we have our living room. That's Dino. It's my boyfriend. He's just gaming right now, so if you hear anything, that's probably why. That's our little desk setup, so that's my monitor and stuff, and then that's his little gaming area. You can see right next to it, we have what we say is his cabinet. This is the one that he bought and built, and the plants inside of it are his responsibility for the most part. And yeah, so I guess it's probably where we're gonna start, but this is our apartment. So yeah. Okay, so in here, this is his Redsta tall. And in here we have a lot of propagations. These are ones that I took from my plants. And so for instance, we have a Monstera Adansonii. Make it a little darker. The Midrium medium, let me just say, I don't know when he last watered these, so they might look a little sad and limp. But anyways, we have the Midrium medium. Like I said, one of many Burl Marks fantasies. This one's in a little tiny pot, and there's multiple plants in here, so it's definitely needing a repot, like super bad. His theme is a lot of the black pots. You know, obviously I ran out of black pots down there, but yeah, he really likes Syngonium, so we found this cute Syngonium. We have a propagation of a Syngonium, what's this one? Lance leaf. I have the mother plant of this, and it's so temperamental, so yeah. Anywho. And then we have a Syngonium elbow. This is a prop. There's 2, I think, in that pot, but that's from the mother plant you guys just saw. This is fully his. He bought this. It's a Syngonium Batik. And then we have a Monstera Peru prop. We have another Philodendron Campo Sportum. This is a propagation. You guys will see in the bedroom plants like cabinets that I have so many of these. And then we have my exotica, some pothos, a brandy, variegated heartleaf prop down there, which needs to be repotted, I'm sure, a philodendron Rio, and a monstera subpenipartitum, I think. I really don't remember, but yeah, these are his. These are basically just mainly propagations, little plants, but yeah, he definitely needs to water them so bad. I might have to water them. All right, so next up, we're gonna go over here. This is the first Millsbow tall. This one is super cute. We have cute handles that Dino bought, the Monstera handles. And yeah, this one is super humid right now. If you can see that, it's 91%. It even smells like a greenhouse, but let's start at the top. So we're starting with a propagation of my Syndapsis Silver Hero. We have a new leaf coming ever since I repotted it because it was just giving me runners, and then I realized it was so crammed in a tiny pot. So once I repotted it, I'm finally getting a new leaf. And then in the back we have the Hoya Dekie. I can't say it, but you know, it's got like kind of a little bit of a heart-shaped leaf and some splash and veining going on. Yeah, so cute. I love that one. Kind of a slow grower though. And then we have a pothos, a global green, and a Hoya macrophylla. I usually have like multiples of those, so I don't even remember where. I have a hanging basket somewhere. We'll find it. And then this is one of the, oh man, is it? I think it's a splendid. Philodendron splendid, or is it Melanochrysum? I don't remember. They kind of look the same. I should have labeled my cups, but we have a propagation. And then we have two Syngonium elbow props. I think I told you guys, like, I cut that one a lot, and it's got some new growth points. We have another one there. We have a Syngonium chiapense cutting because, you know, I needed it. My mother plant totally got leggy at the bottom because I didn't water it, so I started over. And then just some Micans props. We've got more Micans props. This one, honestly, I don't remember what this is. Like, I don't, so I guess we'll see. This is probably the best cutting of the Syngonium chiapense. Best way to represent too, like, you see how big it is and how wide compared to that other Syngonium I showed you that looks similar to it. That's like the main difference between that one and the, I think, macrophylla. It looks like we got new growth, so that's really good. Oh my god, look at the roots. You guys see that? And then we have another Philodendron splendid cutting. Look how beautiful that leaf is. I am so excited. And it looks like we have a new growth point coming in, so that's super exciting. That means I bet this one is definitely a splendid. And then we have this Hoya here in the middle. This is the Parasitica black margin. I just love the leaf texture and pattern, and then with all the black, you know, that's why it's called the black margin. It's because it literally has black margins, if you can tell. This thing is hard to focus sometimes. But then we have my Philodendron Florida Ghost. This one was so small. You could see how small that immature leaf shape is, but if I take her out, she's kind of tippy. I'll probably knock a ton of stuff down. Look at her now. Look at those leaves. They're literally all white. Like, talk about like seeing growth. That's why I love to get little plants that, ooh, trying to get this one away from the grow light. But like I was saying, that's why I like getting little plants that I can watch just grow up and get more mature leaves. Okay. So down here, we kind of have a lot. I normally have two corner shelves, but I took the other one out because these things are outgrowing the cabinet down here. So right now I just have the one corner shelf in here, and I have a little Monstera Peru propagation, and then I have another philodendron splendid cutting growing back there. You guys can see how big it is compared to my hand. That was like outgrowing my Resta, so that's why I took cuttings. All right, and then we have this one. Gosh, I don't remember what this one is called. Let's see. The Hoya glabra. I honestly never even knew I wanted this until I saw it. Because like, look at that leaf. It's huge. And then down here we have one of two Anthurium clarinerviums. All these Anthuriums actually had spider mites not that long ago, so I had to clean them, and I'm honestly gonna have to treat them and clean them again. But yeah, just loves life. This is the other one. She's got some dirty leaves. I should probably just cut this leaf off, but these guys were overwatered for a little bit, so that's why they look like they need some TLC. But we've got a new growth point coming in right here, a new leaf. So yeah, but yeah, they definitely were overwatered for a little bit. This is the newest leaf on this one. And then in the middle we have a Hoya, not a Hoya, an Anthurium Bessiae, I think. I know I'm not saying that right, but it's got like that blue black velvety leaf, and I'm literally obsessed. Like, look how big this one is. So amazing. It's honestly probably outgrowing this cabinet as well, but we have a new growth point in the middle there, and so I'm super excited to see how big that leaf's gonna be. And then next to it we have another really big Hoya. This leaf might be as big as like my face. I don't remember which one this one is, to be honest, and I repotted it in a clear pot, so I'm not gonna be able to check. But if anyone knows, let me know. But I just got this one trellised on, this big trellis, because honestly, like, I have hoop trellises, but with how big the leaf is, I think it's better just to do one of these like arching trellises. So yeah, so that is the Millsbow Tall. And up here I have another Elicombs humidifier, just because, like I said, it's gonna start getting dry now that the temps are dropping. Also, we are decorating for Halloween, so I'm super stoked. All right, as you guys can see, more Halloween decor. I have a little gnome. We also have it right there. Like, we're so ready. So ready. But okay, let's go over here. So we have a couple Dracaenas. I don't really remember specifically what kind they are, but it was super cute. These are the first plants that Dino and I bought together when plant shopping. We weren't living together at the time, and we wanted to get matching ones. And then in my head, I was like, well then, whenever we do end up living together, we have our twin plants. So yeah, those are super cute and special. And now we can get into all these hanging ones. So this is the first one. I told you guys in the plant room, like, I love the marble pothos, and I have so many of them. And so this is my Snow Queen pothos that the one cutting was taken from, and it's just so beautiful, and we wanted to put it on a macrame and have it get some light. These are also all south facing, so these are windows, and then that's another balcony door. So yeah, it just kind of loves life. And then we have, oh, here it is. I told you I didn't know where my other hanging macrophylla was, but Hoya macrophylla albo, and then we have a Hoya linearis, some new stems coming out. This one I really wanted to wait to get until I had like a full pot of it, because I don't know, with it being so skinny and you know, I don't know, I didn't want like a sparse little strand of it. I wanted like a full pot, so I was super happy when I found this one. And then we have a Hoya obovata splash. I'm sorry for the terrible lighting, but it's like raining outside, and we don't have, if you guys can see, we don't have ceiling lights, so it's a little mood lighting right now. But yes, Hoya obovata splash. And then we have a very sad Hoya lacinosa. This one, when we were having all the construction done, it just got forgotten about. So it hasn't been watered in, I don't know, like a month or so, and it's just like, I don't know, it might be dead. I really don't know. And then we have a Hoya compacta, just a normal one. And this one was one of my first Hoyas ever, and this one was like a Walmart find, like when Costa first released them at Walmart, I think in 2020. So yeah, that one, I can't believe I found that. My sister and I both found one. And then we have a Hoya Princess. Super pretty leaves. Again, I wish the lighting was better and I could show you, but the stems essentially are pink, which is how you can tell between the two. Let's see, maybe I can bump. Oh yeah, there we go. Much better. So you can see the stems are really pink. Give you a better look at all these ones that were backlit like crazy. And then we have, last but not least, a Hoya Australis, just a regular one. I honestly don't really love this one. It's not doing it for me, but she's there. She's doing fine. So yeah, these are all of our hanging Hoyas. Dino put up this rod for me so that we could have just some nice hanging plants all along our couch. And then down here we have my mother plant for my philodendron mayoi, and we have the newest growth point coming out there because I chopped it down there, as you can see, to do all the propagations in my bedroom cabinet. And then I have a very dusty just like green Congo, just a green philodendron. This one is super happy, super lush, you can see. And then we have this bad boy, which I'm going to show you from the front of it. All right, so this is literally like a pride and joy again. Like, look how big this leaf is. This is so jungle vibes. This is one of my favorite corners of our entire house because I just love all the lush greenery. And look at how big that newest leaf is gonna be. That's crazy. And yeah, there's actually multiple plants in this pot. It's kind of hard to tell because of the lighting, but there's like 2 or 3 plants in this massive pot, and I love it. And right underneath it, I have a really big philodendron jungle boogie. This thing is so toothy. This is another really good option if you just want like a lush green plant. It's got so much growth going on in the middle. It's crazy. I can't even, whenever I have to repot this, it's gonna be so hard. But yeah, I seriously love that one, a jungle boogie. Super underrated. And before I keep going into it, this is like just one of my more, just a regular monstera. Super pretty. She just got her second fenestration, so that's super exciting. But yeah, nice little basic monstera. All right, so I want to show you guys these guys. This again, I love a hanging trailing lush plant. This is a Syndapsis Splash, Silver Splash. It's not like the Exotica where it's fully silver on the leaves. It's just got the little splashes. But this is just, you guys, look how beautiful that is. And then right next to it, we have a Micans. I'm so excited. See where it is? It's like trailing so much. It used to be on the rod back there, but it was hating it. And I realized that with Micans, they really want to be pulled away from windows. They're just such low light plants. So ever since we moved it here, it's been thriving and growing like crazy. So pull your Micans away from the windows. And then over here, kind of like my green philodendron back there, I have a philodendron moonlight. That's what it was sold to me as, is a philodendron moonlight. I know that there's many different plants that have that same name. Or no, not moonlight, my bad, lemon lime. I have, where is it? A different philodendron lemon lime heartleaf. This is the non-heartleaf lemon lime. I have checked this many times. So it is a thing. It's not the philodendron moonlight. Same characteristics where it comes out like super light. Oh, I hope it focuses. Where it comes out like super light and then it gets to be kind of like a dark green, but it doesn't come out white or anything. it comes out straight yellow, which is why I think it has the lemon lime kind of name. So yeah, I don't know. It could just be that someone thinks that they discovered a different plant and it really wasn't. So then there's like basically the same plant with different names, but I did notice some slight characteristic differences. Yeah, this one's growing like crazy. And then we have what I didn't know existed, a curly snake plant. Like I literally didn't know that this was a thing. I don't know the official name for it, but Tonkadale had it. And then I have a Monstera Peru. She's funky. Had to wrap it like many times. But this is the mother plant that I took a lot of propagations from. So my goal is to fill it out. So I'll plant the props in here and like redo it and have it fill out that pole nicely. And then we have one of my absolute favorite plants, the Syngonium aurea. Come on, focus. The Syngonium aurea. This one is just beautiful. Just one of my absolute favorite plants. It's a weird thing though, like it's variegated and then not, and then variegated and then not. So I don't know if that's just like a genetic thing for just my plant or if that's how other Oreos are, but yeah, it's just got such pretty variegation. And then we have a little cylindrical Sansevieria, which is growing so crazy. Okay, down here we have a propagation from my Philodendron Golden Dragon that you guys saw in the plant room. And it's crazy. Like it was one cutting and it turned into 2 plants. And then look at all those aerial roots, like going crazy. And then this was a cutting from my Syngonium elbow, which is totally reverted. So it's just a green Syngonium, super pretty and bushy, and we'll see if it ever goes back. And then this is my Hoya carrii, just a regular one. I have it trailing up right here. This is where I learned my mistake that like these thick stems do not want to bend. So I did not trellis this one early enough. And then down here we have just a little Crassula. I wonder, you can kind of see the name there. And then we have a silver dollar vine. And then we have, this is a crazy Burrow-Marks Fantasy. Look how big this leaf is. And like, oh my god, this one is literally bigger than my head. This is the one that's crazy. Like I said, I have a ton of Burrow-Marks Fantasies. Then we have my Epipremnum elbow, which got neglected for a long time, which is why it's like super leggy and gross. And then it just gets to be like bushy at the top. So I can't decide if I'm gonna just chop it up completely and start over and propagate it, or if I might try and wrap it more, but I keep neglecting it. So I'm probably just gonna give it a good old chop. I also have this Burrow's Tail succulent hanging up here. I have always wanted a really full pot of this, but I wanted one that would hang, and in the past I haven't really been in a spot that I could do that had bright enough light. So I'm super excited to see this one trail down. All right, now let's go on to these ones. So first up we have this one. This is another pothos. This is a mandula. I already have like 2 mandulas, but I could not pass this one up. It was so full and lush and white. So I haven't found a spot yet of where I want to put this, because I don't want it to burn from our south windows. So right now it's literally been hanging on our chair, and I think it actually loves it. So we might leave it there. This is my boyfriend Dino's bonsai plant. He really wants to get into bonsais, but it kind of died. So we got to figure that out. I don't know anything about bonsai plants. And then we have this Alocasia, a variegated Alocasia. Again, only like a little speck here and there, but this is the newest leaf, and it has a pup. Let's see, which one is this one? The Macrorrhiza variegated one. I probably said that wrong, but it actually had 2 pups in here, but you can see a leaf died, so I don't know if the corm is still good, but we do have this pup. So Newest leaf, super pretty, and I hope it'll be okay. So I have high hopes. The reason that a couple of the pups died and that there's kind of sad variegation on these plants is because when I brought it home, I had to quarantine it for thrips for a few weeks, so it was in really low light. But now that it was treated and good and moved over here, I think it's on the up and up. So now up here we have, once again, another Snow Queen pothos. You guys already know. Again, I have so many, but I just could not pass it up. This actually used to live over there on my green wall, but when you pull these guys away from highlight, the white turns or fades to a light green, like it melts. That's kind of the term for like the variegation kind of fading. So it melts, and so I kind of took it down and put it back over here and just swapped out a different plant over there. And then we have what I mentioned in my boyfriend's cabinet, the Syngonium Landsleaf. This was in the Millsbow Tall over there, but it totally outgrew it. There's so many like stems and plants in this pot. I do like this plant, like don't get me wrong, I love the shape and everything, but it cannot dry out, and it actually needs to always be moist and wet. And I'm someone who honestly just waters like once a week, and that didn't really work for me, so we'll see how it goes. And then we have a random succulent that doesn't like me, which is super funny because I used to always have succulents. And then we have, like I mentioned before, my philodendron heartleaf lemon lime, or a lemon lime heteroraceum. We just get like the cutest little surprises. Like, that is so cute. I love this plant. It used to be in a macrame hanger right there, which is actually like on my table. But now we got new balcony doors. It used to open from this side, but now our handle is over here and opens from that side. So if I put the macrame here, you just hit your head. So right now it's living right there, and I gotta figure out where I would like to hang it. And then we have a propagation of my bipenifolium. This is normally like our propagation area, but when we had construction, I had to just kind of like put whatever could fit on the table to get it out of the way right here. So it is like really cluttered right now, and we have like seasonal decor in the middle. So yeah, this definitely doesn't always look like this. It's honestly normally like a lot of water props right here, but now I've been doing a lot of moss propagating lately, so that is that. All right, down here we have another Synapsis exotica. I have so many of these, so many. Seriously, I love this plant. Like, I could have like 20 of these and I'd be happy. Super underrated common house plant for sure, and it's just so pretty, so pretty. And then over here, by the way, this stand is from IKEA. Highly recommend. We have my second variegated heteroraceum. These are the newest leaves. These are the leaves from when this sat on my coffee table. So you really got to give them good lighting if you want really good variegation. Yeah, and like the stems are kind of pink, but like look at that leaf. Look at that variegation. It's so crazy. And then next to it we have a Syngonium tri-leaf. This one was a full plant that, again, all my Syngoniums just really get bare at the bottom when I underwater them. So I, again, chopped it and started over. And this leaf just came out. Then we have a Hoya Bertonier. I don't know if it's like the actual one or like the SPF or whatever. And then down here, variegated umbrella plant, or Schefflera, I think it is. And then we have my other dragon alocasia. So this is just the normal dragon scale. So bushy and full. There's like multiple plants in the pot there. Loves it right there. And then we have the dragon scale, which is just doing amazing. So yeah, love those, and they really like the humidity right there. So it's kind of nice that I have some that are in a greenhouse cabinet and some that aren't, just to see how they do in different conditions. So yeah. Last but not least, before the wall, we have a philodendron paucisanum. This one's over here actually because it had spider mites and I kind of treated it for a bit, and now I just kind of kept it over here. But it is a crawling one, so I know I'm gonna have to repot it, but it's just another pillowy plant. But yeah, you can see it's already wanting to crawl out of the pot. And then just an orchid. I have to show you this one. This was supposed to be a really beautiful cissus discolor totem pole. If I can get a picture in here, I will, but it was so pretty, and Dino and I were so obsessed when we bought it. But this plant for me has always been difficult. Like, I give it so much sun and it doesn't like it, and then I pull it away and it doesn't like it, and I water it, and I think this is just like one of those plants that I have to accept will not like me, or it probably wants more humidity, and I don't know. We'll see if I ever really try again. This is like the second or third time I've tried to have this plant. All right, so these are the last little bit of plants in this room, this area. These are all Wally Grow plant pots. So they're all just like pockets that slide in to the wall, and really super easy installation. It's only like a 1 screw deal. And yeah, you can pot into the pots themselves, or do what I do and just use them as cache pots. So all those plants are in their original nursery pots, and then I just put them in there because I personally like the ability to move them around and interchange them if I really want to. But yeah. So first up we have this one, which is a Cebu Blue. This one I've had many times. I have many different kinds, and I've done propagation, so like I love that one. And then we have just a regular dark green philodendron heteroraceum. And then next to it, if you can see, we have a philodendron Brazil. And hanging on those is a giant neon pothos. I saw that one at the store, and I am not normally a huge fan of neon pothos, but I could not pass it up. It was so lush. And then you guys already know. You already know. Another Syndapsis exotica. Obviously trailing, so pretty. And then there's another green heteroraceum, the heartleaf, but it's kind of a lighter green than that one. And personally, I really think it's supposed to be a neon heartleaf, or the lemon lime heartleaf, but like it's just reverting because of the lighting conditions. Because the stems when I bought it were more like the pinky orange, but I don't know. Then we have the global green pothos. The one I showed you earlier was a cutting from this plant. It's actually loving it up here. Like, it's starting to trail. I'm so excited. But yeah, so those are all the green wall plants. Okay, so on to our bedroom. We have a bathroom, closet. This is Dino and I. And yeah, let's go through these guys. This is the last room, so props to you guys if you've made it this far. We're almost done, I promise. All right, so we're gonna start right over here because it's the only plant over here. This is a Silvery Ann pothos. Is it really a pothos? I'm gonna say it's a pothos. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be technically, but I don't know. It's very Syndapsis-like, but it's supposed to have a lot of this silver all throughout the leaf. But I've always had it in low light conditions, so it kind of reverted to like not so silvery. So yeah, but I am going to be adding some grow light of some sorts in this room, but I can't really say much about it yet. But yeah, it's cute. It's just a cute little accent plant over here. I have one plant in our bathroom. Hi. And oh my god, it's so bright. And that would be this Syngonium aurea. It's in here. It was in my Mills Botall that you guys will see, but it had spider mites, so I had to treat it, and I personally just want to have it quarantined a little bit before I put it back, because I'm sure I'm gonna have to treat it like multiple times. But yeah, she's so pretty. And this is because it was super, like, there was a ton of drops of water because the cabinet, I really need to put a fan in there, but anyway, so it was really humid. There was a lot of water on the leaf, and then it started getting too close to the light, so it burned. But Yeah, you can see it literally if this ever focuses. It burned like all the way through, so it's not rust or leaf spot or anything like that. But yeah, I wanted to show you guys that before we get started because this is just a little loner in this room. All right, so of course we have some planty decor, planty pillows. These are all, I'm a big like, I like coffee book type plants, books. And yeah, so these are just all, I can't even talk, but these are all like plant books. Love them. And I think we're gonna start over here. First up on top of the cabinet, I have this Hoya Croniana Super Silver. Give you some better lighting. I think I showed you guys the Hoya Croniana Splash before. This one is literally like all silver leaves. It is amazing. If you have one and it's not as variegated, then put it closer to the light because this thing, I don't think I could even get green if I wanted to. It's always just been next to a grow light and you just get so much silver. I've had this one flower for me multiple times. This one actually lived in the Millsville wide, but it just kind of outgrew it. So I haven't decided what I'm gonna do with it yet. So that's why it's been right there for like a couple days. And then of course another Syndapsis exotica. This one is so special. First of all, look at how much it's trailing. Like, look at that. It's beautiful. But this one is special because this one is from Dino's mom. She gave it to us when we moved in together. And it's just so lush, so green. It is one of my favorite plants, super affordable and common to find. And just the fact that his mom gave it to us is just makes it even better, even more special. So yeah. And then over here, it's kind of funny. I've always said I hated golden pothos, but here we are. This one is one I couldn't pass up. Like, look how big that is. I found this at Walmart and it was the usual like $13 or something, but the leaves are so big and it is so lush and healthy. Like, you just can't go wrong with a super healthy full plant. And so I was like, fuck it, let's bring it home. So I got that one. And also, by the way, people have saying that there's a Hawaiian pothos. It's literally just a larger form of the golden pothos, but as pothos climb, they fenestrate and get bigger leaves. So it's just, it drives me insane. But anyways, it's a golden pothos. And if someone says they have a Hawaiian pothos, just don't listen. Okay, and then we have a black gold Sansevieria. I love this one. Dino's very big on like the black pots, black decor. So like this one with the contrasty leaves was so pretty. I had to get it. And now let's dive into the Millsbow. All right, so this is the second Millsbow wide cabinet that we have. Again, it has kind of the crappy clear weather stripping on it. Yeah, so first of all, Dino, we got some pegboards from IKEA and did the whole thing that a lot of people do. So we'll start at the top on the shelf. So we have a Milano Chrysum cutting propagation. There's like 3 of them in there, and honestly, they're kind of getting like deformed leaves because I know it's crowded in that little pot. And then we have a Hoya Bella. Super proud of this one because this one was so small when I got it. And then we have a Hoya Elliptica, which is growing all over. Probably needs a better trellis. I can't not talk about this one next, the Anthurium veitchii. When I first got it, this was like the biggest leaf. Now, like, look at these leaves. It's a little deformed, so I do have some CalMag, some calcium magnesium that I would like to give the plants to help with like their cell walls and stuff. But like, look at this. This thing is outgrowing this cabinet. Totally outgrowing the cabinet. So this leaf is brand new. I can't wait to see how big it's going to get. And then we have next to it a Monstera aurea. This one had some browning leaves because again, just like my Thai constellation, I had to realize like how much water and humidity it really wanted. So once I got that figured out, like This leaf was totally fine. The one underneath it was fine. Super pretty variegation, and it finally is starting to give me some fenestration, so love that one. And then we have an Anthurium Silver Blush. Like, oh my god, so pretty. This is such an underrated plant, I feel like. I just love it. I love the texture and pattern. Okay, and then we have, there's a lot in here. Everything's always kind of crammed. We have a Jessica Spathiphyllum. So it's just a variegated Spathiphyllum, but you know, there is like the Domino Peace Lily. This is the Jessica variegation. I love it. It's so marbly. This one was only like 26 bucks. So I'm glad that right now this one hasn't been overhyped and then the price hasn't gone up too high. The next we have my first elbow, Monstera. I did get a cutting from a plant friend that I bought, like a one leaf cutting from, but in shipping, the growth point, the node had died. So I'm not really counting it as my first elbow because I don't know, if it dies, does it really matter? So anyways, this was the first leaf on that cutting, you know, and I was a little hesitant on what it would look like. But look at what came after. Like, you guys, look at that difference. That's insane. It's literally almost all white with mint. And then it just only got better. Like, it's crazy. Like, every new leaf was so freaking pretty. Look at that. Oh my god, so amazing. And so right now, so this is the original leaf. You can see there isn't much for a fenestration, but since the new growth point came in, it goes back to a juvenile form, so there's no fenestrations. So I am just freaking so ready for when it finally starts to fenestrate. And then I'm gonna turn this down so you can actually see. But like, oh, so minty. I'm so glad I took a chance. Like, this seller, I really wasn't sure if based off of this leaf that they posted, if it was going to be nice, but I think all of their elbows had such good like genetics, because just look at that. It was just a Facebook seller, and I honestly don't remember who it was, otherwise I would totally recommend them. But yeah, and this is the newest leaf, and so now it's got the pole. I put it on the pole right away, and you can see it went right through it. But yeah, I'm hoping I'll get fenestration soon on that one. All right. Up next, we have this guy. This was sold to me as an Anthurium, a variegated bird's nest, but I really don't know. I don't know if it's like a Gemini actually, or if it is the variegated bird's nest. But it was so pretty, I could not pass it up. And then once again, Burrow Marks Fantasy. Oh, it has a new little leaf. Love that. Look at it. It's so cute. It's so teal. That's why I love this plant. It's just so like, the colors are so pretty. So that's why I'm propagating a bunch of them. I want to share them with a bunch of people. And then right above it, we have my very sad Anthurium Warocqueanum. This one, okay. So this one had more leaves. It does have a new leaf coming in, as you can see. This one personally, it did better when I had it in a different cabinet that had way more humidity. Right now this cabinet gets maybe at most like 70% humidity, and I think I need to move it back. I need to move it into a cabinet with more humidity, because every leaf I get, I mean, it'll be just stunning and healthy. It doesn't have pests. I've treated it many times. Maybe I should treat it for some fungal things, but honest to God, it just only started declining when I let it dry out, and now it's just never really became a lush plant. So we have a new growth point. Maybe I will put it in a new cabinet. And then I think last but not least, we have one of my propagations from my variegated Philodendron domesticum. This one I am so excited about. We have some new growth coming in. It's got like this all green leaf, and then like, look at that. How amazing is that? That's so pretty. This plant is so underrated. And I took that from my mother plant, which you guys will see. But yeah, so that is my Millsbow wide in our bedroom. All right, up next, I can't not address this Micans. Look at it. We only paid 60 bucks and it's like a 7-foot long micans. It was already this long. I'd say like right there is where we got it. So I guess it's grown to the floor since then. But yeah, I am just, hi by the way, so excited. It is beautiful and lush. Again, I love a statement plant and trailing plant, so love that. And then next to it in a macrame, we have this is my second Hoya Bertonier, SPF, whatever, SPP, whatever. So it's the second one. I might switch it out. I don't know if I really love it there. I think I want something kind of like the micans that's more like lush and gonna overflow the pot. And then we have down here, oh my god, where do we even start? Probably here, my Hoya Fungii, literally trying to like attach itself to all my plants. But this was only a few leaves when I got it, and now the leaves are just huge and it's growing like crazy. This is definitely a great Hoya if you like this kind of like veining texture, because it is such an easy grower. And then right next to it, we've got 2 new growth points for my Philodendron squamiferum. I cut it right there and I can't believe it put out 2 growth points. And then it looks like there's actually, if you can see, I don't know if it'll focus. I don't have patience, but there is another growth point. Whoa, there you go, you can see it. Another growth point, that's insane. So they say like if you really want your plants to bush out, you need to prune them and cut them back so they activate more growth points. So like now look at that, we have 2 that were already activated and growing and a 3rd one just from one chop. So that's pretty crazy. By the way, it's kind of hard because it won't focus, but if you don't have a squamiferum, they're amazing just simply based on like the fuzzy leaf petioles. It's like a waxy texture, but it's seriously so amazing. I love it. This is such an easy growing plant too. Cute little ghosty shape there. And then below it, we have a variegated Maranta. I love this plant. This one was a Home Depot find. It loves the little low light that it gets from the south window here and from this grow light lamp that I have. But yeah, it's just so amazing. Normally, I don't remember like the actual name of it, but these black spots in the middle can turn pink with like the outer part of the leaf white, and it's just so pretty. So I know if I gave it more light, it totally would do that, and it used to have a lot of that type of variegation, but I like it as like a floor bush. So yeah, I mean, these things are normally ground cover, I believe, in the jungle, so I think it makes sense with where I have it. But yeah, and then back here we have another pothos. This is a mandula again, so that's like the 3rd mandula, I think. And then let's go up here. Okay, so front and center we have one of my favorites. It's a Philodendron Strawberry Shake. This plant's so girly. I just love it. Like the bright pink, hot pink stems and petioles, and then like light pink variegation. I just like love this plant. I don't know. I really didn't like it at first. I don't know why I was so hyped up. But now that I own one, it's just so pretty. And it has a new leaf coming. And then we have my very first variegated Hoya compacta. This thing is probably gonna take like 500 years to grow. I don't remember if I mentioned, I think I did in the plant room, but I had like a really big hanging pot of that, and it's so sad. And then now we have my Monstera Albo. Let's see, make it a little darker. This one is a Planty Queen's plant. This one has such pretty sectoral variegation. This leaf looks a little sad. Sorry for the terrible lighting, by the way. Like, it is just, you can't even tell, but it's so gloomy and rainy out. But yeah, so anyways, I love this plant. It's literally one of my absolute favorites. I love that it's in my bedroom and I can just wake up to it every day. Like, it's just, it is just amazing. And you know what? With Albo Monsteras, with how unstable the variegation is, you guys really got to find one that looks exactly with like how you want it. So for me, I wanted something that had this sectoral variegation, and you can't really tell, but like you see that mintiness near the white. So I really wanted a lot of mint, which this one has, and a lot of sectoral variegation, and then the marbling. So, you know, it actually took me quite a while until I found something, but like just look at that stem. Oh. So yeah, this is like one of my absolute favorites. I'm so happy, and I'm pretty sure this is one that Dino gave me some money to go towards too also, because he knows I had just been looking forever for a plant that looked exactly like this. And it's in like this really cute white pot. So yeah, that's kind of that area. Again, I'm gonna have to do this again when there's like way better lighting. So now let's get into this one. All right, so this is my Philodendron El Choco Red. Look at how pillowy this leaf is. It is huge. Like, I am obsessed. This is definitely like twice the size of my head. It's got beautiful red petioles. This one collects a lot of dust because, you know, the leaves kind of like the tops pointing up like that, and when we have our air on, it just blows dust. But like, oh my God, so amazing. And there's 2 plants in this pot, which when I shop for plants, this is what I look for. I look for a deal because it might be a little more expensive, but if you got 2 plants in the pot, you're getting 2 for that price. So little tip there. It was a little sad and deformed because I neglected it for like a little bit and didn't water it, didn't really get much for nutrients or lighting. And then I, you know, got my shit together. And this is a grow bulb. I just bought the lamp from Target, and then I went to, I think, Home Depot. And honestly, this is such a generic grow bulb. Like, I really didn't believe that it would work. But as long as it had a full spectrum option, I knew it would be fine. So, and then I had a glass shade so that it would give light to literally like everything around it. So yeah, I did that, and that helped a lot with this plant. And then obviously, like I said, like, you know, watering it and giving it more nutrients and things. So yeah, look at just how it's massive, you guys. When I need to do a picture where I stand up and hold this thing because it's crazy. But yeah, all right. Let's get into these guys. Okay, so up here we have a Cebu Blue, one of many, and this one is special because this one was from South Dakota when I visited my friend Michaela, and I don't know, I want to get a plant when I travel places, and so I got the plant and the pretty matching pot there, so now I kind of always have that memory. And then up here we have a plant that normally does not live up here, but it's there for now. This is my variegated giganteum. I guess there is a blizzard version of it, and I think I have it because I'm so short. Like, look at that. I'm pretty sure that this is like the snow blizzard kind, if that even is an accepted cultivar. But yeah, this is a variegated giganteum. I got her for such a great price. Seriously love this plant. It's so easy. It grows so easily. Has a new growth point coming out. Now, last but not least, my second Millsbow tall cabinet. This one has a lot of like props and things, so I'll just go really quickly. But back here we have a Jade Synapsis. This one was just like a few leaves when I got it, and now it's literally trailing all over the place. Then we have a variegated Florida Beauty. This kind of like my Choco Red, like I was saying. There are multiple growth points in this pot, if it'll focus. But so like the price I paid essentially was for 2 plants. And I love that it's so small because then I can see it mature with every new leaf. And yeah, it's just so pretty. This one is from Lost in the Forest Co. So pretty. The variegation's amazing. And then we have a variegated Burrow Marks Philodendron. If you guys remember in the plant room, I showed you my Burrow Marks, and it was all green, but this is what it looked like. So it reverted so bad. And before this last leaf went away, I took a cutting of it and propagated, and so I really hope that now I can kind of save the variegated version of it, but these guys are known to revert, so I probably unfortunately won't buy another one, but hopefully I can save it and make another one. Then we have a Hoya, oh god, I'm gonna butcher this, the Huscheliana, the variegated version. She's so pretty, so cute. And then we have this super sad looking Philodendron verrucosum. This is such a save. Like, I had, you guys, I'll have to put a picture here, but I had the most beautiful plant, and it was dark green, velvety, just amazing. And then I neglected it, like, to water it, and it was in a terracotta pot, fast draining soil, and the thing just crisped up. And then I was like, okay, so I put it in a cabinet, and then I got spider mites. So this thing was struggling, and I just found a leaf and tried to prop it. And we do have a new growth point coming out, but yeah, this one, I don't know, we will see. I'm just trying to save it. And then in the back here, we have some props from my Monstera dubia that you saw in the plant room. They are just on sticks right now. These guys want a shingle on planks, but there's 3 plants in this tiny, tiny pot, so they have sticks. Okay. It's hard to know where to start. Back here I have a Hoya, I believe Latifolia Snow, or like Latifolia Snow Queen or something like that. I believe it's from Canopy Plant, so I could probably check on that, but very splashy leaves. I love it. This is a sad trellis for it. I definitely need to re-trellis it, but it just loves life. And then I have a Hoya Sarawak. This is from Tonkadale locally. I love this one, and I got the cutest little white pot for it, so that one's super cute. Next to it, once again, Bromark's Fantasy Propagation, which I also have right there. And then we have the inner variegated version, or reverse variegation. I really don't know. I think it's just like inner variegated Hoya obovata Splash. I love this one. It has the pink petioles, and then the new leaves come in like black. Like, it's just, it's so cute. I love that one. And then this one that's just like in your face and in the way is it's a propagation from my Philodendron mayoi. You can see the mature leaf form. The fenestrations go all the way into the center of the leaf, but the juvenile leaves that come out of props are going to be juvenile, so they don't have that kind of variegation. I mean, God, I can't talk. They don't have that kind of fenestration. And same thing with this one. This guy, his leaf is like all the way up there. And then back here, we have a crazy Hoya Matilda Splash. This thing was not this big when I got it. I had to trellis it up. It's growing like crazy. It's a fairly easy Hoya. So last but not least, we have this shelf. I'm trying to go quickly because this is such a long tour. So back there and back there, we have Melanochrysum propagations going. We have a propagation from my Jose Bono that you guys saw in the plant room. This thing has like literally all half moons. I am so obsessed. It's such a good plant, good genetics. Then right here we have a Syngonium. Oh, I can't even hold it. It's so funky. Chiapensi, a prop. And then we have a Philodendron Camposportum, which is like the main leaf. You can see new leaves come out like all two-toned and velvety. I love them. Then we have a Squamiferum propagation there. I have a couple of them. Here's another Campo propagation. This one actually has 2 growth points, I think. Like, I didn't plant 2 in there. I'm pretty sure it had 2. I don't know. And then in the middle, we have my variegated Philodendron domesticum. This thing, again, amazing genetics, just keeps on growing and growing. Multiple plants in the pot, which I told you, it's a big thing when you're shopping to look for that. This is the one I just took a cutting from. You can see the spot where I cut it, and for a while I didn't think it was putting out any new growth points, but you won't be able to tell. But basically right in there, it activated that node. It's just taken a while to grow from it, but yeah, that's the mother plant. I have such a good photo of this on Instagram. You guys will have to check it out, but yeah, so that is the Mills Botal number 2.
All right, you guys, so that is it. That is the plant tour, apartment tour. You know, I'm sorry. I know it was super long. I knew it was going to be. This is like my 3rd or 4th time doing it, but you know, I wanted it to be the first video right out of the gate. I want you guys to see, you know, what my space looks like. I want you to see kind of what I have for a collection, what I like, my cabinet situation, so that now for all these next videos, you know, it'll make sense and you'll know like where I am and what I'm saying and what I'm talking about. So yeah, like if you guys made it this far, seriously, thank you. Thank you for watching, and I give you mad props because, you know, it was a long video. So I would seriously appreciate it if you guys all hit the subscribe button. Go ahead, you can follow my Instagram if you'd like. It is at Planted Personalities, just like this YouTube channel. And yeah, just comment if you guys have any questions, if you have ideas on videos that you want to see, if you guys want to talk about anything that you saw in this video and you want me to elaborate on, whatever you want. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!